In 1947, Los Angeles was rocked by a crime so brutal it would become one of the most chilling mysteries in true crime history. Elizabeth Short, a young woman with dreams of stardom, was found severed in half, mutilated in the most horrifying way imaginable. But her death was just the beginning of a twisted story that continues to haunt the city. Who killed the Black Dahlia? And why did they leave such a gruesome calling card? This is the case that still captivates the world. On January 15, 1947, Elizabeth Short's body was discovered in Leimert Park, Los Angeles. It was a sight that defied explanation. Her body cut in half, posed like a sickening display. The details were grotesque. Her mouth slashed from ear to ear, her face twisted into a disturbing smile. The world was stunned. The brutality, the calculation, it felt personal. Yet, there were no clues, no identification on her, and no clear motive. What was the killer trying to say, and why her? Elizabeth Short was just 22 years old when she came to Los Angeles to chase her dream of becoming an actress. A beautiful young woman with striking features, she was often seen as mysterious, with a past filled with uncertainty. Though she had struggled in Hollywood and faced rejection, Elizabeth never gave up. But behind her hopeful eyes was a woman running from dementia, troubled relationships, her history with men who didn't deserve her. Yet, she remained kind-hearted, a woman with a story left untold. What happened to her dreams? What could have driven someone to end them in such a brutal way? Los Angeles police quickly launched an investigation, but every lead turned cold. Elizabeth's purse and ID were nowhere to be found, adding to the mystery. Detectives were left with nothing but a dismembered body, posed like a grotesque piece of art. They couldn't find any signs of struggle. No fingerprints, no witnesses, just a body abandoned in the open. A killer who seemingly had no fear of being caught. But the case didn't just stop there. The press, hungry for a story, painted Elizabeth's life with their own brushes, calling her the Black Dahlia. The media made her death an obsession, but it didn't bring them any closer to the truth. Days after Elizabeth's body was discovered, a letter arrived at the Los Angeles Examiner, postmarked from a nearby location. It was chilling. The writer claimed responsibility for the murder and promised to send more evidence. The letter included Elizabeth's personal belongings, including her ID, but still, the killer's identity remained hidden. It felt like a twisted gammon where the killer was daring the police to catch up. The letter was a taunt, a message that the killer was watching, waiting, and the press fed into it, sensationalizing the story, but they still didn't have the answers. Over the years, countless theories have surfaced about who the killer might be. Some suspect George Hodel, a former doctor with a history of strange behavior, including his connection to other mysterious deaths. Hodel's name resurfaced after his son, a former LAPD officer, suggested his father was involved. Others believe the killer was someone close to Elizabeth, a man she had crossed paths with in Hollywood, or a rejected lover. Could it have been someone in the Hollywood elite? Or was the killer simply a disturbed individual, hiding in plain sight? Theories continue to circulate, but none offer any definitive answers. The most chilling part of the Black Dahlia case was the way Elizabeth Short's body was arranged. The killer didn't just leave her body behind. They posed her like a twisted piece of artwork. Her mouth was cut open in a grotesque smile, and her body was severed in half, with no sign of immediate violence. It was as if the killer wanted to send a message of power, control, and cruelty. Elizabeth's family and the investigators were left with a question that haunted them. What did this twisted display mean? And why was she chosen? Hollywood is a city where dreams are made, but it's also a place where darkness thrives. Elizabeth Short came to LA with nothing but ambition, and she paid a devastating price. Was her murder linked to the dark side of the Hollywood scene? Was it someone who saw her as a threat, or simply another young woman to exploit? Hollywood had no shortage of secrets, and Elizabeth's death could have been the result of a sinister underworld few knew about. Could the killer have been someone from the city's elite, someone who knew her, but didn't want their connection to be revealed? Despite decades of investigation, Elizabeth Short's murder remains one of the most famous unsolved cases in history. Every lead turned cold. The killer's identity remains a mystery. Theories continue to emerge, some credible, some wild, but none have cracked the case wide open. Could the killer still be out there, living among us? Could they have been someone Elizabeth trusted? Or was it a stranger hiding in the shadows of Los Angeles? The haunting question remains: who killed the Black Dahlia, and why has justice never been served? The Black Dahlia case continues to haunt the city of Los Angeles, a symbol of the darkness that lurks beneath the surface. Elizabeth Short's murder was not just a crime. It was a message, one that continues to puzzle and chill us. Though decades have passed, the questions remain. Who was Elizabeth Short? Who was the person who took her life in such a brutal way? And most importantly, why did they choose her? The mystery of the Black Dahlia lives on, and the truth may never be uncovered. But as long as people ask the questions, Elizabeth Short's story will never be forgotten. Do you have a theory about the Black Dahlia case? Was it a serial killer, a jealous lover, or someone hiding in plain sight? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to follow for more true crime stories. The mystery of the Black Dahlia lives on, and the truth is still out there.